Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to So You Think You're Iconic, the movie podcast.
Yeah.
So, this has been a very long week, but you know what? It's Christmas now.
Yes.
I mean, it's December 23rd for you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And we forgot to
Merry Christmas Eve Eve.
Eve. And we forgot to say Happy Hanukkah. I'm
Happy
so
Hanukkah,
sorry.
yes. I am
Happy
so sorry,
Hanukkah.
y'all. Oh,
I
Happy
mean,
Hanukkah was great. You got good food.
mhm.
Light those candles. I don't know a lot about Hanukkah.
I
Don't come for
know
me.
literally nothing but the stereotypical stuff. So I will not speak on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I know there's a dreidel involved. I know there's candles.
I know, yeah, there's candles and then there's food. That's all I know.
Yeah. We can educate ourselves later.
Yeah, we'll do that later.
We'll do that later.
Maybe someone should shoot us a quick email. The
Yeah.
history of Hanukkah.
Or if there's any Hanukkah movies. Are there any Hanukkah movies?
Probably. There has to be at least one.
At least one. It's probably really bad.
Yeah. And it probably was not made by Jewish people.
If
But you know what? They will prevail. It's fine.
right, they had the right spirit
Yeah.
making a Hanukkah movie, but
They just probably should have consulted some Jewish people. But
Yes.
We learn at our own pace. It's fine.
It's fine.
So how was your week, Kelley?
It was pretty good. I've been I'm still trying to get my Christmas shopping done, by the way.
Oh my gosh. Christmas is in 2 weeks.
I know. But like I have most of it. It's just
Actually, it's less than 2 weeks now.
it is less than 2 weeks. It's 12 days. It's 12 days from now.
Girl, you probably want to finish today if you're having everything shipped.
I only have like 2 things shipped. The rest I could like get in store, like through the buy online and pick up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do that, but like I don't have any idea what to get. So
I'm so happy I'm not stressed because I'm done.
oh, I know you suck.
Anything else?
Me and the band that I'm in. I'm in a band.
Oh, yeah,
We're doing a Christmas like online program.
By the
So
time you hear this, it will have been over.
It will have been over. It was on the 19th, but we're doing it. Classic Christmas songs. Let's go.
Cool. Well, it was amazing. Wow.
It was very amazing. Wow. So great. A lot of people came online and watched.
No technical difficulties. It was amazing.
My voice it was not tired. It was on point. Everything was fine.
Mm-hmm. All that money she spent on vocal lessons
and
college just went to great use.
Yes, it is. For those of you who don't know, I went to college and got a music degree.
Mm-hmm. We love to waste money.
Yes, we do, especially on a music degree.
Speaking of music,
oh yes,
I have a rant.
Yes, here we go. This is the point where we warn y'all that this will be another 30 minutes before the actual podcast starts.
Oh well, they're used to it by now.
Well,
so I was talking with Sabrina yesterday because her parents were watching Cats.
Oh God, they were voluntarily watching Cats.
They were voluntarily watching Cats. And I
could see that.
And I was like, how do they even understand what's happening?
Right.
Because I saw on YouTube like the film stage version, and I had no idea what was happening. So I know they didn't know what was happening. And then she started talking about how everyone singing in the movie sucked. And I was like, yeah, they have people like Taylor Swift. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Taylor Swift is an amazing songwriter, but she is not a singer. When other people sing her songs, it's always better.
Yeah.
It's always better. Right. I will give her props for her pen game.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Them lyrics spit, but like
the vocals aren't matching. But it's okay, because then I started talking about how mediocre all singers pretty much are nowadays. And then I got to a point where I was like, I'm going to start my own record label. because the mainstream music and the artists nowadays suck. Like there's
Yeah,
no artistry anymore.
nope.
And then I was like, okay, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start a 90s style boy band because we are lacking that.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Like the K-pop people like stole
Yeah.
the
And
90s.
look how well they're doing right now.
Yeah, they're doing amazing. So I'm bringing the American boy band back.
Yes.
And then Sabrina was all like, "Oh, like One Direction." I was like, "No,"
No.
because only 2 people in that group could actually sing, and they didn't.
Honestly,
And they
like,
didn't dance.
yeah. And like, even if the others could kind of sing, they never let them anyway.
Yeah.
I felt so bad.
So I was like, "No, we won't be doing that." Like that was great for its time, but like, no, we're going back to the 90s. We're going the NSYNC, Backstreet Boys.
Yeah. If you can't sing and dance, we don't want it.
Yeah.
Also, we need all of y'all to match in some kind of way.
Yeah, we need harmonies in every song. We need to bring bridges back in songs. Let's do that.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh.
We're bringing bridges back. Ariana Grande can't hold bridges by herself. She
Really,
truly
she
can't.
She really can't. She's just out here with all of this on her shoulders. Just give her a break.
And so I was like, and I will also bring back promotional tours. Record labels are getting lazy. There are no promotional tours. Do you know that Britney Spears started off performing in malls? Why is no one doing that anymore?
Yeah, why is no one doing that anymore?
Because they're lazy. They just throw money at wow, I lost the word for radio. They just throw all their money at radio stations and they're like, just play this song a million times. Like even established artists like Justin Bieber are doing that because why was Yummy playing on hip hop and R&B stations? I was confused when Yummy first came out and it was playing on hip hop and R&B stations. I was like,
and that's not even a really good song.
I was like, Scooter Braun, please save your money for something else. Not this.
Right. And honestly, like they say that everyone's going to online shopping and it's only because people don't put concerts on in malls anymore.
Yep. Bring the concerts back to the mall. And then NSYNC used to perform at schools.
Yeah.
So here, walk with me. I have a vision.
Yes, let's go.
I'm going to start a boy band. Okay, that'll be my first like group I sign before I get any solo artists. I'll start, my foundation will be a boy band. We will go the original boy band route. There will be the singing, there will be the dancing, there will be the 18-hour day dance rehearsals. There will be the vocal lessons every other day. Like it will be a boot camp.
Yes.
Like the K-pop people stole it and I'm bringing it back.
Yes. You're going to put them all in one house. They're all going to live together. They're going to know how each and every one of them breathes.
Exactly.
So that when they dance together, it looks flawless.
It will be flawless. There will not be one move out of place. And then we will start the promotional tours. We will sing and dance in a mall. And we will pretend like it's in Grand Central Station. Whoa.
Oh.
I just woke up.
You really did though.
What am I thinking of?
The garden?
Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
There we go. You will pretend like that mall is Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
You will give it
200%.
200%.
Every single time.
Yes.
You can tell when it's not.
Every performance will be recorded, and then we will look back and be like, what went wrong? And then there will also be a lot of press. These artists are also getting lazy with press. Like Destiny's Child used to be everywhere. They did Target commercials. They did car commercials. They were everywhere.
You literally could not get away from them.
And I will petition MTV to bring back the spring break thingy.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because that was also a good marketing tool that they just like threw away.
Why? I don't know.
I mean, I know they don't really do music anymore.
That is also true.
But like I will petition for this.
So after that project, the Band Boy project, we're gonna bring back a new MTV where it's literally just music.
Yes. And then that's all I have for right now. I haven't started with solo artists yet.
Okay. I mean, you have a jumping off point.
I do. But like my vision for the solo artist begins with a pop boy singer that can actually sing. Ooh, 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 ooh.
We just spit facts here.
Yes.
Nothing else.
Okay, I'm gonna go to my next topic. Because I've been talking for like 10 minutes.
I mean, you have, but that's fine.
I started reading the Percy Jackson books.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And before this,
I love those things.
whenever I would watch the first one, the first movie, I was always like, this isn't that bad. Yeah. And then I read the book and I was like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
You realize how bad the movie is.
Like I realized the second one was bad. Like the second one is unwatchable.
Yeah.
But I always thought the first one wasn't that bad. I was like, oh, this is a great starting point. And then like with the second one, they just went off the rails. But no.
Because the second one tried to fix what the first one didn't have.
Yeah, they made Annabeth blonde.
Yeah, they finally made Annabeth blonde.
Which was very weird.
And it didn't match her skin tone at all. She looked like she was wearing a really bad wig the whole time.
Oh, it was, oh yeah. But yeah, I'll give an update when I finish. I'm on the second book right now.
Ooh, okay. Also, did you see that Disney Plus is coming out with a Percy Jackson series?
I did. That's why I started reading.
I saw a TikTok about it and I commented. I'm just like, I just can't. Like, I love the Percy Jackson series, but if they're gonna burn me like they did in the movie, I just can't. And well, they commented and they said that they were actually working with Rick Riordan, the author, and I'm like, okay.
Will they actually use children this time, or are they going to use 20-year-olds again?
Like, is Percy going to be like 28?
Because that was also something I didn't know was wrong until I watched. And I was like, why are they? I was like, why are they so old?
Yeah, they are not old at all.
It was like, okay.
They are children when the books start.
Yes. Okay.
Well, anyway.
That was nice. That was nice. Please start telling us about this movie before I start thinking of more artists I want in my future record company.
Okay. So this week we are doing Home Alone. Yeah. And this coming out on the 23rd is like really like on point because this movie like starts on the 23rd, I think.
It does.
Yeah. From like what I can gather from the movie and like where things are, because they actually give me dates in this movie on like the holiday. But anyway, this movie starts at the McAllister household where there's a bunch of stuff going on and there's a police officer looking for the owner of the house.
Yeah, he just like walks into the house. How does he?
Who let the police officer in without, like saying anything to him?
Anything.
Or whoever let them in being like, hey, yeah, I'll go get the owner of the house real quick.
Or did he just walk in?
Yeah.
In which case, how have they not been robbed before?
We then see Kevin go into his parents' room and complains to his mom who's on the phone. And like, if I tried to complain to my mom while she was on the phone, or even try to talk to her while she's on the phone, it'd be the end of me. Like this kid is totally trying to talk to his mom while she's on the phone. And his dad comes in, he's trying to pack, and they eventually kick Kevin out because he's being a brat.
This whole family
sucks, by the way.
Ooh, yeah.
Like the way the kids talk to each other.
Yeah, therapy is needed.
Therapy is definitely needed.
Therapy is
like
needed.
one-on-one therapy and then a family therapy.
Yes, they each. How many of the McAllister, like the main family, are there like 5? No. I think they have like 4 kids, so there's 6 of them.
Yeah.
They each need to have their own like separate therapist, and then the therapist needs to go over all the notes, find out everything that's wrong, and then they need group therapy.
Yes, they do. Just y'all got issues, and y'all need to work them out.
Definitely.
So Kevin is sent away to pack his own suitcase and panics because he's never done it for himself ever, and so the other kids just bully him about it. And tell him he's such a baby and whatever. Like,
yeah,
kind of a break.
Isn't he like 8 years old?
Yeah, he's 8.
Also, I'm surprised he has not swung on anybody before
Right.
because literally they were being more mean than siblings usually are. I was
Yeah.
like, wow.
Yeah. Like, I don't ever remember talking to my cousins or my brother like that ever.
No, they literally call him an idiot. I've never
Yeah.
called my sibling an
Yeah.
idiot.
Yeah. And they're like, you're incompetent. You're a baby. You're dumb. I'm like, bro, whoa, pump the brakes a little bit. I'm surprised Kevin hasn't just murdered his whole family at this point.
Oh, that's the future movie.
But it's the future movie, okay. Um, and so while this is all going on, Kevin also learns that he has to share a bed with his younger cousin Fuller, who has a tendency of wetting the bed. And that's so mean. Like, they all know that, and they put him in a bed with him anyway.
Yeah, that sucks. Why does Fuller not wear diapers?
Right.
That's weird.
So Kevin tries to get out of it and goes to his brother Buzz and is like, hey, let me just sleep in your room. And he's like, no, like, you were never allowed in this room ever. And then Buzz, Kevin, and one of their cousins sees old man Marley, their neighbor, outside shoveling snow at night. I don't know why. I don't.
Yeah.
Is that the right time to shovel
At night,
snow?
yeah, like very weird.
um, Buzz says that he's known as the South Bend Shovel Slayer because he supposedly killed his whole family and then half of his block, but was never convicted because there wasn't enough evidence to put him in jail.
Even though if you killed an entire block of people, I'm pretty sure
Right,
there'd be some evidence.
right. And then a pizza is delivered to the McAllister house by a
This
very
pissed
bad
me off.
driving delivery guy.
This pissed me off so much. He like knocked over their thing.
Yeah, like, I get it's an ongoing joke in the movie, but like, yo.
It was annoying.
And then the police officer lets the pizza guy in, like he owns the place.
Yeah.
And then everyone comes by because pizza's here, and then Mr. McAllister finally talks to the police officer. And
Talks is
well,
very loose.
very loose.
Very loose. Like he literally looks at this man, answers maybe two questions, and then walks off.
Mm-hmm. So
Like,
basically, they take the pizza. Mr. McAllister like looks at the police officer, and he's like, "Hey, we're just doing like a safety check on everyone because it's the holidays and burglaries and stuff." And Mr. McAllister's like, "Oh yeah, we have timers and we have alarms. That's it," and just leaves.
yeah.
And so no one pays the pizza guy. No one actually talks to the police officer. And the pizza guy, he's like, it's 122.50 for what, like 10 pizzas?
10 pizzas, which is ridiculous for
Which is ridiculous.
15 people.
Yeah, and it's in the 90s.
They needed 5, 6 max.
Right.
10 pizzas.
Right.
That's
and
like
it should not have gotten to 122.50.
Absolutely not. There had to be some sort of coupon.
Right. Like, you can go to like Domino's, get an extra large pizza for like what, $10, and then they always have coupons, so it's like what, 8?
Yeah. Something wasn't.
Someone was not paying attention when they ordered the pizza.
No.
So while all this is happening, Kevin wanders into the kitchen and is angry when he finds out that the cheese pizza has been eaten before he got any, and he tackles Buzz, who has eaten one of the pizza slices and mimics throwing it up so Kevin can eat it. They end up spilling milk over passports and plane tickets, and while everything is being cleaned up, Kevin's ticket is accidentally thrown away.
How? I don't understand. Like, the way they try to explain it away didn't make sense to me.
I know.
Like he literally pats it down, picks it up, and then throws it in the trash.
Like, you would have seen it.
You would have seen it. You would have felt it.
Right. Anyway, Kevin is then by basically all of his family, and his mother goes to drag him up to the attic.
This was the point in the movie where I knew the whole family needed therapy. First off, his uncle called him a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, he's 8. Calm down.
Yeah, he's 8. Calm down. And then Buzz has the audacity to act offended. Like, he was in the right or something. Like, homie, you instigated this whole thing.
You instigated it. You ate his pizza and you mocked him.
Right. And then you said, here, let me throw it up so you can eat it. On the way to the attic, the pizza guy is finally paid. And Mrs. McAllister actually talks to the police officer and tells him that they're going on a trip to Paris.
Hmm.
And that,
With uh the entire family. There's
yeah,
15 of them, and they're all
yeah,
flying to Paris.
Paris.
That's expensive.
That is expensive. And she did say that the whole trip was paid by their brother who lives in Paris. And I'm just like,
Yes.
how much money he got?
Which, by the way, I have some words for this brother in Paris. Why are you
Okay.
dropping your children off to live with your sister, brother? We never know
We never know.
who they're related to. Um, to spend the majority of the year with.
Right.
I don't want to take care of your children.
Right.
I have
Oh,
4 of my own.
yeah. Also, like, are you sending them like child support kind of like stuff?
Right?
Like, is
You,
your sister or sibling, whatever, just paying for all of your children's stuff?
yeah, you obviously have money because
Yeah.
you live in an apartment that has a view of the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. You pay for 4 adult first
Class
class tickets and 11 coach tickets on a flight
to Paris.
couple days before
2
Christmas.
days before Christmas.
Like, you can have your children live with you first
Yeah.
off. And if you don't have them live with you, you can at least pay for their way with whatever sibling they live with.
I'm sure in Paris they have schools where they speak English.
Yeah. Or they just learn French. You live in Paris now.
Yeah.
Like, anyway. While Mrs. McAllister is talking to the police officer, Kevin gets a weird vibe from him, and he sees his gold tooth, and he smiles and says he's leaving. And before going into the attic, Kevin wishes he never sees his family again for the rest of his life.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm a pro ass whooping person. I am. I'm so
Okay.
sorry. I know a lot of people are like, don't hit the children. I'm like, sometimes children need to be hit. So Kevin needed to be whooped. I'm so sorry. His mouth was way too slick. He needed a whooping.
Yeah. Like, he was talking to his mother and every person in his family like it was no big deal.
Like he was a grown man and he could
Yeah,
just say whatever he wanted.
there was no respect or fear of God in that child.
And that's why he's a sociopath who sets up traps to like murder intruders instead of just calling the police.
True.
There's no discipline in the household.
Like, in a way, I do feel bad for how they're treating him. Like, it's not his fault. He is a kid, and they should not be treating him like that.
But he should not be talking that way.
He should not be talking that way. So during that night, a terrible wind comes through, and a fallen branch takes out a transformer that turns out the electricity for the whole neighborhood, which results in the next morning a knock on the door of one of the drivers of the van that's supposed to take them to the airport wakes all of the household up, and they realize that they've slept in.
Mm-hmm. And instead of just running in their pajamas, they like run around and start like getting dressed and like eating breakfast and stuff. And I'm like, just go to the airport in your pajamas.
Yeah.
But this is like pre 9/11, so like I don't know, maybe pre 9/11, like it was more of an experience to fly.
Yeah.
But no, I would definitely be like, okay, we're going in these footy pajamas. Mm-hmm. It's like a 12-hour flight anyway.
True.
Might as well be comfortable.
So they run around the house getting things together. And while this is happening, one of the neighbor boys comes over and starts asking a bunch of questions to the van drivers and being super annoying. The kids are then sent out to the vans, and Heather does a head count and gets to 11, which I guess is the correct number of kids that are going, and accidentally counts the neighbor kid. And so once everyone is in the van, they say they have 45 minutes to make it to their flight. I don't know how far away they live from the airport.
See, if they were going to they couldn't have been in the Bay Area, because like if they were going to the San Francisco airport, not a chance.
Not a chance.
And not a chance. If traffic didn't kill them, TSA would have. Wait, did they have TSA pre 9/11?
I don't know.
I was born in 97, people. I
Yeah.
literally don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We were the we know 9/11 stuff. That's just the norm.
I don't even remember that. I was too young to remember that, so I don't know.
And so for y'all who have never taken an international flight before, you have to be at least 2 to 3 hours early to your flight
Oh yes,
because you have to, even if you're not checking in luggage, it just takes that long. Like
right.
when I went to the
How their luggage made it on the plane, I'll never understand.
yeah, how they made it on the plane, I will never understand.
Oh yeah, because
Because when
they get
they run into the airport and then they run to the gate and the gate is
the
already
gate is
closed.
closed.
They will not open that gate for anybody.
No,
That's how strict they are.
usually if they're closing the gate, that means that they're pulling the plane
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. And the lady who's working the counter, she just takes her stuff and she's like, you guys just
You
made
guys
it. And then
just made
she
it.
opens the gate and lets them in without even like checking their tickets.
Yeah.
Or saying, hey, you should have been more on time. She's just like, oh my gosh, yeah, you're here. Come on in.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Like, y'all, this girl finna get fired. So when they all on the plane, Mrs. McAllister like sits in and like gets buckled up and everything, and she's like, wow, I hope we didn't forget anything. Then we immediately cut to the house to see Kevin coming out of the attic. And then when he sees that the house is empty and that the cars are still in the garage, he assumes that his wishes come true. And so he then proceeds to go wild. And I have to name one of these things because it just blows my mind. He's jumping on his parents' bed with his shoes on.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's gross.
The disrespect.
And
also, why are you wearing shoes in the house? Why?
Who knows?
Anyway, we go back to the plane, assuming mid-flight. I don't know how many hours they're in, and Mrs. McAllister is freaking out, saying that they really forgot to do something. And Mr. Door, that's what we forgot to do. And she's like, okay, but I don't think that's what we forgot. And then she realizes that they forgot Kevin. And we go back to Kevin, and he's still whiling out at the empty house.
It took this woman like 10 hours to realize that her youngest son has not been seen all day.
Yeah.
I'll accept that the father didn't realize.
Yeah, I will accept
because he seemed like the kind of dad that just goes to work and then just comes home.
Mm-hmm. Like, and then says, "Hey kids, how are you?" and goes to bed.
I'm sure when she was like, Kevin is missing, he had to like do a mental check to even remember who Kevin was.
And he was probably like, no, I saw him go back there.
Yeah, he was back there.
I saw him, I
swear I put his carry-on into the overhand bed. Like I saw him.
Yeah, like an hour ago I went to check to see if he was doing okay, and he was just sleeping in the back. I'm sure he's back there. Just checking on some random guy's kid.
It's like, yeah, he was asleep. But I saw him.
Yeah, I swear to you. So Mrs. McAllister is having a breakdown on the plane, and they're saying that the captain is trying to get a hold of like their household. I don't know if they do that.
Probably
and like
not.
The stewardess said that they're trying to do everything they could to get in contact with whoever they needed to, and I'm just like, I don't know if that's in their job description, but okay.
It's not.
We then see two men sitting in a van staking out 3 houses that are on the McAllister like lane, but they're really looking forward to ransacking the McAllister house because apparently they're super rich. I don't know.
I mean, flying to Paris, but like their house didn't look any different than anyone else's house.
It really did. It just looked like a really nice neighborhood. Every house was nice.
And then they were like purposely like tearing up stuff in people's houses while they were robbing them. And I was like, did you have to do all of that?
Right.
Like, just take my stuff. Don't like ruin my entire house.
Right. So we then see Kevin, who is in the house, and he is scared awake when he hears the bandits getting out of their van, and he sees them walking by window. He quickly goes to turn on the basement light, and the robbers are deterred from going in. The moment the rest of the family lands in Paris, they quickly try to call everybody that they can and book a flight back home. And then we flash back to Kevin, who is at home hiding under his parents' bed, and he gets it in his head that he needs to protect his home. And he goes outside to declare it, but is scared back in when he comes across old man Marley, still shoveling snow in the middle of the night.
Acting creepy.
Very creepy. Flashback to Mrs. McAllister, who is called the police to do a wellness check on Kevin.
This pissed me off.
And,
Pissed me off.
and they are giving her major sass and not taking her seriously.
Right? They're like, what? There's an 8-year-old trapped inside of his house while his entire family is literally out of the country. That's not a big deal.
Right.
Let's
They're
send
like,
in.
oh, you want us to check on him? Why?
Right. And then, okay, fine, we'll check on him. And then we send an officer. He knocks once.
Yeah.
And is like, no one's home.
Yeah. Yeah. And so they do send the officer to Kevin, but Kevin is too scared to open the door, which, very fine.
Because he's a child.
Because he's a child.
And that man didn't even think about that. Like, maybe he's scared.
Right. So the police officer like radios back and he's all like, the house is empty. Tell her to count her kids again. Like y'all.
Like,
y'all
no,
suck.
I know that my child is missing.
Right. So back at the airport, they say they don't have an available flight until Friday, which is 2 days away. But Mrs. McAllister can't stand it. And she's like, I'm going to stay here. And she sends the rest of her family to her brother's apartment or whatever, the hotel. So we go back to Kevin and he's getting ready for the day. And he says he's going to go shopping today and he needs money. So he goes into Buzz's room and climbs up his shelving and breaks it on the way up. Which, how did he not die?
I don't know. The grace of God.
The grace of God. And he gets money from a tin. And also in the wreckage, there is Buzz's tarantula that escapes his little cage.
Can we talk about the fact that Buzz was going to leave that tarantula to die?
He did say he fed it.
He was like, I fed it enough to last a couple of weeks. And I was like, no, you didn't. That's not how eating works.
Yeah, that is true. I don't know how or what you feed a tarantula or how often they have to eat.
He said he fed it pig guts, which is questionable.
Very questionable. Is that what they eat?
Probably not.
Okay. So Kevin leaves the house and sees a car parked at the Murphys, which is suspicious because they said they were going to Florida for Christmas. And it turns out that the bandits, Harry and Marv, are ransacking the place. And Marv hears a message on their phone, and it says that it's from Mr. McAllister, and it says that they're in Paris, and that if they need to get in contact with him, here's the number. And so they are like, now they really know that the Paris family is in Paris, and they decide to ransack the McAllister home later. So Kevin goes shopping for a toothbrush, but is scared out of the shop when he sees Old Man Marley with a cut in his hand. And he's basically shoplifting and is chased by a cop. Like, why would you really care about a toothbrush that probably costs 50 cents?
Yeah. All of that for 50 cents.
All that for 50 cents. And so he gets chased by a cop, but manages to get away. Meanwhile, at the Murphy's house, Harry floods the house because he says that it's him and Marv's calling card because they're the wet bandits.
I have something to say about calling cards, but I will say it later.
Okay. And as they are putting all of their stuff in the van and they're driving out of the driveway, they almost hit Kevin. And Harry doesn't recognize him, but Kevin does because of the gold tooth that he has. And this is like one of those Scooby-Doo type moments where it's like, I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for those darn kids because of my freaking gold tooth giving myself away. Because Harry was the police officer at the beginning of the movie that like staked out the place. And Harry doesn't like the way that Kevin looked at him and suspects that he's one of the kids in one of the houses, and so they stalk him, but Kevin gets away because
and they're like, why is he running? Because your strangers in a fan following
him. And it's like broad daylight. Like, y'all are not sneaky about this. Kevin gets away because he hides in a nativity scene in front of a church, and the wet bandits don't want to deal with the church. So
they're like demons, like they can't touch the steps of a church.
Yeah. Like they have to be invited in. Wet bandits as vampires confirmed. But anyway, Kevin decides to be ready for them later. So later that night, Harry and Marv stop by the McAllister house and they see that it's full of people and there's music blasting, but it's just Kevin with this whole setup. I don't know how
Where
he
did
did
he get
it.
all of those mannequins?
Yeah, where did he get all those mannequins in a cutout? Like, are they just in your basement or something, or in your attic? Who keeps a bunch of mannequins?
I'll accept the Michael Jordan cutout. Maybe it was in Buzz's room.
Yeah.
Fine. But where did all of those mannequins come from? And the
Yeah,
wigs and
right. And this, and
very
like, how
confused.
would an 8-year-old know to set up all of that to deter
Because he's a sociopath.
bandits? Yeah, true. Okay. So we flash to the family who are in Paris, and everybody's worrying about Kevin, minus Buzz, just being an asshole.
I think this entire family is just full of psychopaths.
I can believe that. So we then go back to Kevin, who has ordered pizza and is delivered by the same crazy driving guy, and Kevin uses the black and white movie Angels with Filthy Souls to talk to the delivery guy, pays him, and then scares him off, saying that he's going to shoot him up.
Mhm.
How this worked, I don't know.
Right. He somehow had like movie theater surround sound in his house to
Right,
make it sound like he was being
right.
shot at.
And this is coming from like a 10-inch TV with speakers built into the box.
Yeah.
Like, and he's
It was
able to hear it outside.
It was a box TV.
It's a box TV. For those of you who don't know what a box TV is, look it up.
And it was a small one, like in the kitchen. Like it was not.
Yeah, and it was far away from the back door where like this whole exchange is supposed to be happening.
Yeah.
Unless he had like some type of speaker hooked up to it, I don't know. I don't even know if he could do that in the 90s, but anyway. We then see Mrs. McAllister trying to bargain with an older couple to get her way onto a flight back to the States. And she does get their tickets by giving them $500, her jewelry, and her husband's first class tickets, which I don't know why the older man was so like, don't take her money or anything.
Right. He was like, no, I want to go home.
Right. Like, you can spend another day in Paris. It's not going to kill you. Also, you're in Paris. Why are you tripping?
Right. Why are you in such a rush to leave Paris?
Right. She's giving you $500 and first class tickets back to the US. Like, I would have taken it like in a heartbeat.
Same.
And so we then go back to Kevin, who is getting ready to go grocery shopping, and he does all of that. And then when he gets to the register, the lady starts asking him questions because she's suspicious that he's like all alone. I don't know.
So I have a theory about this lady.
Okay.
I'm convinced when they wrote this movie, they wrote this part specifically for Rosie O'Donnell in mind. And then they were like making the movie and they were like, oh, we can't afford her. So they were like, let's just cast someone who slightly looks like her and talks like her.
Mm-hmm.
Because why is there a woman with a New York accent bagging groceries in Chicago?
I don't know. Also, I love that she questions him and like shows concern, but doesn't do anything else.
Anything. She's like, where's your mom? He's like, outside. It's just like, obviously doesn't believe it.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, where do you live? He's like, I can't tell you that. And she's like, why? He's like, because you're a stranger. And then after that, she's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like that's valid, but like she doesn't do anything else.
No one in this movie does anything when they see
Really,
a child walking around the streets of Chicago by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone in this movie needs CPS called on them, needs a therapist.
Everyone just needs help.
Some amount of help.
So then we see Kevin going back home, and then later that night, we see the wet bandits staking out the place again to make sure the McAllisters really are gone. And Marv checks the back door and is fooled by the black and white movie again, the same audio. And he runs away and he tells Harry about it. And they're like, you know what, let's just wait to see like who's in there, because obviously they have to come out. We then go back to Mrs. McAllister, who is back in the States, but she can't find a flight to Chicago because there's nothing open because it's Christmas Eve.
And it like never occurred to her to try to rent a car. She's like, I need to be on a plane. Literally, while the car rental place is right behind
her.
And she's only in Pennsylvania. Like, she could drive
Yeah.
to Chicago.
Like, what kind of motherly instinct is she writing on that says she has to ride a plane?
I mean, we've obviously seen that her motherly instincts are a little shaky.
True. But like, why couldn't she just be like, you know what, I'm getting in the car then, and I'm driving 100 on the freeway to get
I mean,
home.
she eventually does get in a car, but like,
Yeah, true.
in like the worst way
The
possible.
worst way possible. So there's a guy that overhears her at the airport trying to get a flight back, and his name is Gus Valinsky, the Polka King, and he decides to help her out because it's the Christmas season. And he says that him and the rest of his band are renting a van, like, and this is like an actual like moving van, like
like a boxcar van.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And they say they're going to Milwaukee, but they can make a stop in Chicago to drop her off. And so she agrees to go with them. We then see Kevin going out to cut a Christmas tree.
She agrees to get into the back of a box truck with a whole bunch of random men.
Mm-hmm. This girl's self-preservation is not there.
No.
Like, you do not get in a van with 8 random guys that you do not know just to see your kid.
And
rent your own car.
Yes, please. I'm sure the rental place would have been like, we have one car for you to drive.
Yeah. And at that point, she probably would have taken any car, like, no matter what it was. We then go back to Kevin, who goes outside to cut himself a Christmas tree, and he is seen by the bandits, and they know that he's home alone. And Marv doesn't want to steal from the house with Kevin there because he thinks, he'll call the cops. But Harry's all like, I don't care. We're just going to come by at 9:00. It says it really loudly, and Kevin overhears it.
And I was like, at this point, why are you going to risk assault/kidnapping charges?
Right.
To get the same stuff you got in every other house.
Mm-hmm. Like, you were getting yourself in over your head now that there's a kid involved.
Yeah, now that there's another person involved, like, you've just escalated to a point.
Right. It's not just burglar anymore.
No.
It's not B&E anymore. It's a lot higher than that.
I mean, I think at this point they're at grand theft already, but
But now you're just adding a kid involved, and that just does not get any better.
No.
So Kevin overhears that they're coming over at 9, and so he's like, I have to get ready, whatever. So that night, Kevin goes to see Santa, and he talks to a guy in a costume, and he's all like, I know you're not the real Santa, but I know you work for him, so I want you to tell him that I don't want any presents this year. I just want my family back. And the guy's like, okay, I'll make sure to tell him.
And he gives him mints.
And he gives him Tic Tacs. Because he's all like, nobody sees Santa and walks away empty-handed. So he gives him Tic Tacs, which at least he gave him something. It was Tic Tacs, but still.
Yeah, because kids love Tic Tacs.
Kids love Tic Tacs. Also, I have not had a Tic Tac, in years.
Because gum is superior.
True, but like, there's just a thing about a Tic Tac.
Like, you eat a Tic Tac and it's gone. You chew
but
some
then
gum,
you eat the whole pack.
You chew on some gum, you got like 30 minutes.
True.
Oh my gosh, it used to be so good. Like, it didn't help your breath like at all, but it was amazing. They had like these like mango Altoids.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh my God. They were like sour.
Yes. Like, they just tasted good. I didn't think at all, but they tasted good.
Yeah, they were not for your breath at all. It was pretty much just candy.
Because on the tin it literally says sour on it. Like, if that's a candy at that point.
It's candy.
If it doesn't say like mint or cinnamon on it for like freshening your breath, then it's not a mint anymore. So Kevin, on his way home, sees families together on Christmas Eve, and he gets pretty sad. And so he passes the church on his way home, and Kevin goes in, and he sees Old Man Marley there, and he goes to sit with him, and they talk about their families and how like they did something wrong, and how they want to be with their families. Yeah, and they're friendly to each other.
Yeah, he's like, you don't have to be scared of me, even though I've been creepy this entire movie. You don't have to be. Every time I've seen you, I've just stared at you.
Right. But I'm not creepy. I have a granddaughter.
Yeah, I have a granddaughter. And a son who I told to never come see me again. And then I'm surprised when he doesn't come see me.
See, everyone does need a little bit of help. So,
Yeah, the moral of this story is to go to therapy.
yeah, you could avoid a lot with just going to therapy and learning how to communicate.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.com. I'm kidding. It's not.
It's not.
I wish.
So Marley sends Kevin home, and Kevin races home after noticing that it's almost close to 9, and he starts drawing up plans to defend his house.
Oh, and can we also talk about how that old man didn't ask him why he was at the church by himself?
True.
Doesn't he live across the street?
They're neighbors, aren't they? Don't they live right next to each
He
other?
lives across the street from them.
Yeah.
He didn't notice that no one else was home but Kevin.
Yeah. And wouldn't he have gotten a phone call? Because didn't they say that they were calling everybody in their neighborhood?
But the phones were down when they were calling. So I'll let that slide.
Okay, well,
but he's physically seen Kevin multiple times by himself. And does nothing.
Maybe you're just different in the early 90s.
I mean, I understand minding your own business. I am a real mind your own business. But this is a child.
Yeah, this is a child. You don't stay in your lane if a child needs help.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you remember that time we were at, what was it, the Lincoln Memorial or something, and we just randomly found that child?
You know what? I actually wasn't there for that.
You weren't?
I wasn't there for that because
I was stressed out. I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? I was like, I don't want to touch him. I don't want to do anything. I was like, what do we do with this child? And so
I heard about it.
And so we just called Cootsie and we were like, you take him.
Yeah, I had hurt my knee. And so y'all could walk up until Cootsie came down and was like, hey, there's an elevator that you can take. So I'm like, okay. And my parents went with me. And so by the time y'all were done and had found the little kid, I was finally going up to the Lincoln Memorial.
That was the most stressful day of my entire life. And it only lasted for 10 minutes. And I was like, what do I do? I have to I have a son now. What do I do?
Mind you were all 18 and 17 during this
time. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to come home and raise this child.
Right. This child needs me, and now I'm gonna have to buy him a plane ticket. We have to go to California.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to sign some paperwork. I'm gonna have to get a job.
But I have to graduate first. Oh, okay. Also, can I just say, with all of the traps that we see Kevin put up in his house, the tar on the steps and everything, how, and all the damage that occurs later, how is that all cleaned up later?
Oh my gosh, I literally put that in my notes.
Because there is so much damage.
I was like, how did he clean all this up, but then not clean up
Buzz's room?
That's such a little kid thing to do.
True. That's just him being petty at this point.
Yeah. And he's I'll literally spend all night scrubbing tar off of the floor, but I'm not gonna clean up the broken shelves in Buzz's room.
Right. I am just gonna leave that there. So after Kevin gets everything ready, he makes his mac and cheese dinner and is about
that he never eats.
That he never eats, and I'm so sad about it because that's wasted mac and cheese. But the clock in the house says that it's 9 o'clock, and so he's like, okay, time to move into action. So Harry and Marv are at the house, and they try to lure Kevin to open the back door. But Harry is shot in the leg with a BB gun through the dog door.
Leg. He shot him in the dick. Let's be completely real. And then he'll be fine 2 minutes later.
Yeah, and then he shoots Marv, who sticks his head through the dog door, in the head with a BB gun, and he shoots both of them close range with a BB gun.
Mm-hmm.
Why did that cause more damage than I think it should have?
Oh, there's tons of stuff that should have caused it. They should have literally
died.
They literally should have died. I can't wait for the future movie where Kevin is institutionalized for being a psychopathic serial killer, and then he eventually does kill these two, and then during their autopsies they get diagnosed with CTE because they get hit on the head so much.
Wait, but what if this is Kevin in an institution and he's so crazy that like he actually did murder them, but in his head
He's rationalizing it.
he's
Yeah.
rationalizing it, you know what I mean? And it looks like they're burglars and they're like trying to like hurt him and whatever. What if they're not? And he just like kills them.
We're explaining the plot to the Disney Plus remake.
Because there's a bunch of stuff that happens in both of them. But
Kevin will be played by Jacob Tremblay. And then the older version will be Tom Hiddleston.
Oh my god.
And then it leads right into Loki.
Yes,
there we
go. Stay tuned for next year when it comes out.
Yep. I was a producer.
Yes, we both helped on this movie.
Give you a little sneak peek.
Mm-hmm. Make sure to check our names in the credits.
Can't wait for the residual checks.
Mm-hmm. We're going to get so much money.
25-cent checks sound amazing to me.
It's going to really help with my debt that I'm in.
Oh, yeah. She's like, please pay. I'm going to post her like Venmo or something. Please send Kelley some money.
Please. I am in 3-figure debt from college.
Can't relate.
Please. Oh, I know. I'm so angry with you. Back to the story. Both Marv and Harry are angry from being shot with a BB gun, so Harry races to the front door while Marv goes to the basement door, but are stopped because there are frozen stairs, and they fall multiple times trying to get in. But why didn't Harry? Because I'm looking at everything that's going on. So why didn't Harry just like go around the front stairs? Because like there's a little like walk up and then jump over the little gate.
I mean, yeah, you could have did that, but like that would have required thinking, and they obviously weren't doing that.
They had one brain cell each.
It was constantly being shared between the two.
Yes. I know, and Marv couldn't avoid it because it's the basement stairs. He just had to go down it. Mm-hmm. So Marv jimmies the basement door open and gets in, and he goes to turn on a light, but is nailed in the head by an iron, which that should have killed him.
Immediately should have died. Like he threw it down that like trash chute that was like a story above.
Yeah. The laundry chute.
At minimum, he should have been knocked out.
Yeah, at minimum. Also, there should have been a huge gash on his head.
But it's like fine. Bleeding. During his, like I said, during his autopsy, when he's diagnosed with CTE, we'll know why.
We'll know why. Harry finally gets up the front steps, but when he goes to open the door, he gets burned by the doorknob because there's like a heating hook on the other side.
Yeah, and he like kept his hand on it.
He really did.
Like instead of letting go like any normal person would do, he like gripped it harder.
So Harry falls back down the stairs and shoves his hand in the snow to cool it down. Marv has somehow gotten up and raised from the dead and is making his way up the tar stairs when he steps on a nail and then falls back down the stairs. Harry, who is now super angry, tries the back door and finds it unarmed, and he goes to open it, but when he steps in, it triggers a blowtorch right to his head, and he races out and puts his head, which is on fire, into the
all sun. It does is singe him. Like no second degree burns. Like it probably would have.
Right, it probably would have. Blowtorches are super powerful. So Marv gets back up, went down in the basement, and he hobbles his way back up the stairs while Harry barges through the back door safely. Marv sees an open window and he decides to climb in. Kevin then hears Harry in the house and eggs him on, and that prompts Harry to open one of the doors from the kitchen, and he gets a face full of something sticky. I don't know what that is. And then he trips a rope that turns on a fan and blows feathers at him that sticks to him. Marv then enters the window and steps on a bunch of lights and ornaments underneath the window, and it makes him super angry. And I don't know why
he was barefoot
to walk. Yeah, he's barefoot, by the way.
Which is very weird.
I think his shoes got stuck on the tar.
But even then, Like, you didn't have any socks on? Like, what was happening?
True. I don't know. So Harry and Marv finally meet up together, and they are prompted by Kevin to go and find him when they slip on a bunch of Hot Wheels. Is that possible? I feel like this is like a banana slip trick.
I don't know. I had Hot Wheels. I've never slept on any,
Me
but
neither.
I don't know.
So Kevin eggs them on again to chase him upstairs, and they are both hit with paint cans to the face. Hello, more head trauma. Kevin then races to his parents' bedroom and makes a phone call to the police.
Finally
Finally,
calls the cops.
finally calls the cops, and it takes them an hour to get there. By the way,
Which, by the way, were the Wet Bandits aware that the phone system was back on? Or no, they had to have been because they were literally in a house when
yeah.
they got a call. So they knew that the phones were working,
Mm-hmm.
and they still thought it was a good idea to try to get in this house.
Yeah, they're not the smartest. One
No.
brain cell. One brain cell. This is if Doug from Snow Globe went into thievery.
Oh my gosh. That's a movie I want to see.
It
And oh my gosh, guys, I actually watched Snow Globe again. Like, it was on TV,
was on
and I
TV.
literally sat there and I watched it.
See, we actually do go back and watch the movies that we do on this podcast.
It's still a bad movie.
It's still a bad movie, but we watch it. So Harry and Marv are making it up the stairs, and Kevin runs past them, and Harry is taken down by a wire, but Marv jumps over it and catches Kevin on the ankle, and they struggle for a little bit until Kevin sees Buzz's tarantula and picks it up and puts it on Marv's face, which I would have died if I was anywhere near that tarantula.
Tarantulas are not scary. They're like
But
the most.
I don't like spiders. I just don't
Why?
like them.
What's wrong? Nyla hates spiders for some reason. Like, she won't even be in the same room as them. And I'm trying to get her to, like, at least be able to kill them. She won't do it.
Like, I'm gonna just say this right now, and I get a lot of shit for it, but I crashed one of my cars
Oh, that was hilarious.
because of a spider. Okay, that's how much I hate spiders. And let me tell you, I was in my own neighborhood. I was like 5 houses down, and I crashed because
Oh
of a
my
spider.
gosh. I got into a car accident because literally the car in front of me stopped so short I didn't have time to stop, and then I got crushed between a car and a like truck.
Mhm.
And she got a car accident because a spider was in her car.
That was my own fault, but like other
She didn't
accidents I've been in, they were not my fault.
she
But
didn't
that
stop.
was my only accident, and it was with a spider, and it's a dumb reason, but it's my reason.
Oh my gosh, you know what I learned on TikTok?
What?
If you get into a bad accident, you should pee yourself. Because then
Why?
you'll get extra money for like emotional distress or whatever.
Oh, let me tell you, my first car accident, I was bawling my eyes out, and the lady who hit me and because we were sandwiched between cars, me and the lady that was like in front, they thought I was dying. I was crying so hard.
I was
Because
trapped in my car when
yeah, it's
like the guy who in the truck that hit me from behind, like he had to like pry my door open because I was trapped in my car.
oh my gosh.
Uh,
Okay. Anyway, Marv tries to get the spider off of his face, and when he does, it lands on Harry. And Kevin, meanwhile, gets up the stairs into the attic and is about to use the zip line that he has from his house to the tree house. How he ever got that to work, I don't know. So Harry starts to finally get his wits about him after falling and sees that Marv is about to hit him with a crowbar. And Marv's like, stay still, I gotta hit the spider. But he doesn't tell him that he's gonna hit the spider and just nails Harry in the chest with his crowbar. And Harry gets so angry with him that he like hits him back with a crowbar and then just chucks it into the house and breaks something. Kevin finally uses the zip line and is safe in the treehouse. and Marv and Harry see him, and Kevin tries to get them to chase after him with the threat of him going to call the police, which he's already done. And Marv is about to go down to chase him, and Harry's like, no, 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 no. He's just
No.
trying to get us to go back through the house again and through all those traps.
Yeah.
We're gonna follow him on the zip line.
How this zip line was strong enough to carry two probably
To
200-pound men,
yeah,
but then be able to be cut with garden shears. I
I
I don't know.
don't know. It looked pretty slack too when both of them tried to like
Yeah.
pull themselves on it. So Harry and Marv decide to climb after him on the rope to the treehouse. But Kevin cuts it when they're halfway through and they fall, which I don't know why that doesn't stun them enough. But Kevin then runs to the front of the house and the bandits run to go after him. Kevin taunts them again and he runs to the Murphy's house. And when he gets into their basement, somehow it's flooded.
Through a storm cellar, which made no sense. Why did they
Yes.
have a storm cellar? Do
I
they
don't
get
know.
earthquakes in Chicago? Not earthquakes,
Hurricanes?
tornadoes. There we go. Do they get
Yeah.
tornadoes in Chicago?
I don't know. Do they get that high?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but I've never been in one. So.
I haven't either. And I used to live in Texas and I've never been in a tornado.
We get earthquakes out here. That's all we
Yeah.
know.
Which, by the way, people who are afraid of earthquakes but live in like tornado country, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, what is wrong with you? If you've never been through one, why are you tripping?
Tornadoes are not bad. Or not tornadoes. Earthquakes are not bad.
They're not that bad, honestly.
Most of the time, you barely feel them.
Yeah. Or they're just enough that they shake some of the lights in your house and you're like, oh, that's kind of weird. And then you just go about your day.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
like
really good.
A tornado comes through your town, like your entire town gets like ripped apart.
Right.
And for some reason that doesn't frighten you.
Yeah. Like the destruction of your town and surrounding areas in like in like minutes does not scare you more.
Please reevaluate your life.
Right.
But like, don't move to California. Like, please, people move other places.
Yeah, if you're in California and you don't like it here, move out too, because like it's way too crowded here.
Yeah, go to Texas. The people of Texas really want more people there. Like, go ahead.
Of course.
I think Oracle like is moving to Texas.
Oh, really?
I think I saw that on the news.
Oh.
They're moving their headquarters to Austin, which Austin is very nice. I like it.
I've never been to Texas.
Girl, don't. It's nice to visit, not to. It's nice to visit, not great to live in.
Okay, I can feel that.
After like your 50th day of 100-degree weather, you're like, let's go.
That's gross. I don't like that.
And then the humidity. Oh my gosh, it's never cold.
Really? There's humidity down there?
Like when the sun goes down, it's still like warm. I hate it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Kevin gets into the Murphy's basement and it's flooded, and he tries to go into the main house, but is stopped by Harry and Marv, who have gotten there before him somehow. I don't know. They then hang Kevin on a coat thing to him that he has done to them. And we see Marley sneaking into the house with a snow shovel and knocks both of them out and gets Kevin out of the house and back into his own.
What did they think they were going to do to Kevin? Were they going to murder this child?
Yeah. Because if you do any of the stuff that...
The escalation is to the roof now.
Right.
What? I thought they were just simple burglars, and now they're going to be murderers.
Right. Like, y'all are going to jail for life if y'all killed Kevin.
And then Old Man Murphy, he has to know he has to know at this point that Kevin is by himself.
Yeah.
And does nothing.
Mm-hmm. He literally, Marley takes him back to his house and leaves him there alone. He doesn't even be like, hey, let me call. Do you know anybody who's still in the States I can come and stay with you?
Right. Or like, you want to come stay at my house?
Right,
like something.
Right. And the police, or he can be like, hey, I'm going to call the police and be like, hey, there's a kid alone. Is there like somebody you can send to be with him? They
didn't do anything.
I don't know how this
This
Um,
is a definition of a mind your own business town. They literally do not care about each other. Kelley froze. Yay!
so Kevin is left at home by Marley and he's safe and he watches as the police storm the Murphy's house and they arrest the wet bandits and then the police know all of the houses they've hit because they all have the same calling card of the house being flooded. Um, Kevin is then alone at the house and he starts to feel how alone he is. And then we see Mrs. McAllister still in the van on the way to Chicago. And Gus talks to her and tries to cheer her up and whatever. And they talk about how terrible of a parent they are, both of them and the rest of the people in that van.
Yeah, like we're all terrible parents, but
Yeah.
our kids will be fine.
Yeah. Like she says, yeah, I left my son at home and I went to Paris. And Gus is like, yeah, I left my son or whatever, daughter at a funeral parlor with a corpse all day. And she was fine until like 8 weeks later when she finally started to talk. And she's like, you know what? Maybe we should just stop talking about how bad of a parent we are. Like, sheesh. So the next morning, Kevin wakes up and he sees that it's snowing and it's Christmas Day. And he races to see if his mom and the rest of the family are home. But he doesn't see anybody in the house, so he checks outside and is disappointed when he doesn't see anybody and he closes the door.
Did you notice that night Kevin left out cookies and milk for Santa?
Mm-hmm.
But then when he wakes up, they're still there, and like he like didn't notice.
Oh, right, huh?
So I'm sure at some point during that day he noticed that the cookies and the milk were
Yeah.
still there.
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on?
Right. And seconds after he closes the door, the van pulls up and Kevin is upstairs looking at the family portrait and he hears his mother come in and says that she's home and he goes down to see her. Mrs. McAllister sees that the house is in perfect working order after the chaos of last night and decorated for Christmas. And then she sees Kevin and she apologizes and they hug, which one apology would not have been enough. He now needs therapy. They all need therapy.
Yes.
Kevin then asks where the rest of the family is, and she says that they couldn't make it, only to find the rest of the family opening the front door seconds later.
Which made absolutely no sense because they showed us outside. The visibility in the sky was like zero.
Yeah.
There was no way a plane made it through that.
Mm-hmm. Like we were assuming that it's been raining, like not raining, snowing all night too because of how much snow was outside as well.
Yeah, it was a lot of snow. Like
it was a
all
lot of
you
snow.
saw was white everywhere, in the sky, on the
Mm-hmm.
ground, everywhere. It was just white.
So how they made it, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
everyone,
then, what's her name? Lisa's husband from
oh yeah,
couldn't make it from San Francisco
from
to
San
LA.
Francisco to LA because whoo, that rain.
Yeah. Oh.
So everyone is excited to see Kevin, even Buzz. And they say that they took the morning flight back to Chicago that Mrs. McAllister said she was not going to wait for. And then she's like, oh, I need to go shopping because everyone's home now. And Kevin's like, oh, I did it. And everyone's in disbelief because he actually did something for himself. Everyone then goes to put their stuff away. And Mr. McAllister sees something gold on the floor and it's Harry's tooth. And we see Kevin walking to a window and we see Marley with his granddaughter and his son. And they wave to each other and everything's fine until Buzz sees the wreck in his room. And
Yeah.
that's the end of the story. Kevin's about to get his ass beat by Buzz.
Yeah, most definitely.
Most definitely. Okay. Movie facts. I got a few of them.
Okay.
So this year is the 30th anniversary of the movie coming out.
Oh, we just keep hitting anniversaries on this podcast.
It came out November 16th, 1990. It also held a Guinness World Record for 25 years because opening weekend it made 17 million and it was the highest grossing film in 1990. and earned a Guinness World Record as the highest grossing live action comedy ever domestically, and it held the title until 2017.
Oh, okay.
So, Home Alone. Apparently, watching Home Alone is a Poland tradition.
Why?
I don't know if you're a Poland listener, and can you tell us why Home Alone is so big? Because it says
We had a Swedish listener, but I don't know if we had a Polish.
yeah, because it says in 2011 more than 5 million people tuned in to watch Home Alone.
I mean, I know why we in America watch it because it's literally on TV every day.
True.
Like it's literally on TV today.
Yeah. Yeah.
But why Poland? That's
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah, I don't know.
Send us an email if you live in Poland.
Yeah. Tell us why Home Alone is a Christmas tradition over there, and if you were one of the 5 million watching in 2011.
I mean, I can't imagine Poland has more than 5 million people. So I'm sure everyone was watching it.
And my last one is Joe Pesci. I hope I'm saying that right. He's the guy that plays Harry, one of the bandits. He went all method acting on Macaulay Culkin.
Ew.
And he avoided him.
I'm so sorry, Poland. You have 37.97 million people.
Oh. You're I can't believe they have more than 5 million.
I really thought Poland was a smaller country. Sorry,
Poland. We love you.
Back to method acting.
Back to method acting. So Joe Pesci literally avoided him on set, so like he could be afraid of him. And Macaulay Culkin actually has a scar from Joe Pesci. Because when they were rehearsing the scene where they put Macaulay Culkin up on the coat hanger in the Murphy's house, Harry says that he's going to bite off all of his fingers, and apparently Joe actually bit
a child,
Macaulay Culkin, and there's a scar on his finger because he actually broke skin, like he chomped on that finger.
In this essay, I will be describing why method acting is not a good thing. Why are we biting children? Don't you think that's a little too far?
Yeah, like I understand him wanting Macaulay Culkin to be afraid of him, but there's another thing of biting children.
And why are we doing method acting for a Christmas movie? Like, please calm down.
A child's Christmas movie, like wholesome family fun Christmas
You're
movie.
not even the star of the movie.
Yeah. Like we get it. Like all the other movies that he did were like serious mob, scary kind of movies, but like this is not one of those movies.
He plays a man that gets feathers blown onto him. Like you don't need to be doing method acting.
Right. And he gets outsmarted by an 8-year-old child.
Yeah. Decisions were made and they were made incorrectly.
True. So iconic? Yes, no?
Of course it's iconic.
Of course it's iconic.
This is an example of a movie that lives up to the hype. It's actually a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
The story is a little ridiculous, but it's cute.
It is.
And the acting isn't bad. So
yeah.
And it's also, like I said, on TV every single day.
Yes. Like you can't avoid it during Christmas time. It's on every other day. That and like The Grinch. Which you watched the live action of this week.
Oh, I was going to.
Okay, we'll save that rant.
I'm not talking about that.
We'll save that rant.
I need to rest.
We'll dedicate that to another episode.
Yeah.
Any recommendations?
I have one.
Ooh.
It's the movie Last Holiday with Queen Latifah. I know it does not really fit into my definition of a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But it's really good. I like it. It's funny. Has a good story. about living your life.
Yes.
It's amazing. You should watch it.
Yeah, go check it out.
It's usually on Lifetime, so like just watch it there.
Also, I think
Oh,
it's on Amazon Prime too.
oh, and I'm pissed.
You're pissed?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because the holiday. How
Oh.
all of a sudden it's playing on Lifetime. We paid to watch the holiday, and now all of a sudden
Yeah.
every other day it's on Lifetime.
That's what we get for watching it early, I guess.
I'm pissed.
So my recommendations this week, I have two. We've actually switched roles this week. My first recommendation is Arthur Christmas. I love that movie. It's super cute.
I think I've only seen it once, and I don't remember the plot.
It's super cute. I like it, and I like the actors that are in it. And my second recommendation is The Prophecy. It's an album by Ninja Sex Party. It came out a couple months ago.
Wait,
Really
did I hear you incorrectly? Did you say Ninja Sex Party?
Yeah. They're a comedy, a duo. They make comedy music. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, they work with Twerp, the band. They like that.
Now I have more questions. What is twerp?
It's TWRP, Twerp. It's like an 80s kind of like band style. It's like funk pop. It's really good.
I will take your word for it. I'm gonna have to post on Instagram, and I'm gonna have to look up these random words.
If you don't want to have Ninja Sex Party in your Google search, just look up NSP. If that works as well.
My Google algorithm is gonna be all messed up. They're gonna be like, "What is happening?"
It is a comedy band, though. It's nothing bad.
Okay.
I'm just digging a hole here. We need to end this episode.
Kelly's literally watching ninjas have sex, but like whatever.
Stop. You're gonna ruin my image.
So you said the ninja orgy. Got it.
Stop. Anyway. This is the end of the episode.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. There is no end of episode rant this time. We switched it around. You had an opening rant.
You're free.
You're free to go.
The
bell has rung. You can actually leave on time.
Follow us on our Twitter and our Instagram. They're both at SYTYI Podcast. Send us your questions, your movie facts, your movie requests, your movie stories at our email, sytyipodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to share us with your friends and your family, and to subscribe to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the weirdest thing happened. Someone, so like I can see like what people are listening to us on. Have you ever heard of Bullhorn?
Bullhorn?
Yeah, someone listened to us on Bullhorn, and I have no idea what that is.
Oh, me neither. What the? If you're that listener who listens on Bullhorn, tell us what the heck that is.
Send us a DM, an email, something. What is Bullhorn?
Yeah. Like, that does not sound pleasant.
Because I was looking at the like listener like thingy, and then like that popped up. I was like, what is that? And I tried to look it up, and I couldn't find anything. I was very confused.
Is this the FBI agent that's watching through our computers? Can like record this right now?
Hi, Frank. Your name is probably Frank.
I'm gonna name you Lisa.
Ooh.
Lisa. They're number one supporters. They watch us every week. They have to.
Notice how we're saying they, because we don't know their gender.
Yes. They can do whatever they want, by the way. We are a safe space.
If the FBI, CIA, whoever, NSA is listening, hi.
Yeah, hi, how are you?
I mean, like, obviously you can't answer, but make my camera light flash like
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah, 2 for yes, 1 for no. Or I'm sure you can just open up like a chat link on my computer somewhere.
Like you're not gonna hear this for like 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
but on this we record on Sundays, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's because of 23rd. So we will be recording January 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
So on January 3rd, we recorded at 11. I'm
Yes.
usually on my computer at like 10:40. Just make the little like camera indicator light like flicker like twice. I'll know that's
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Be
We give
great.
you full control for like a full 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Do whatever you want.
whatever you want. And then also, if aliens are real, like just make it like strobe.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll get the sign. We'll know what you're trying to say. We won't tell anybody.
We won't. I love how we said we weren't gonna rant and then we ranted. So thank you again for listening.
Yes.
Don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And wear your mask.
Yes. Wash your masks. Wash your hands.
And stay iconic.
Stay iconic, y'all.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye.